The Todd and Oz Show is live. Get in on the conversation at 512-836-0590. Now, here are Todd and Oz.
We are so glad you chose to join us here on the Todd and Oz Show. I'm Todd Jeffries. He's Patrick Osborne. You can join us at 512-836-0590. We got a big development on a major story that, Austin voters voted on and approved back in 2020, talking about Project Connect. You remember the big package that they floated to voters with a maze of trains and buses and things like that? It was going to totally transform our city.
Yeah.
And remember, you voted and approved creating a new city department, Austin Transit Partnership. And they've been collecting the taxes retroactively against you and the people for several years now. Mm-hmm. Well, residents of Austin will announce a lawsuit against the Austin City Council and Austin Transit Partnership Board of Directors challenging the replacement plan for Project Connect and whether they can move forward without explicit voter authorization of these changes. A big press conference is planned tomorrow on this very issue. Former Travis County Commissioner Gerald Daugherty is with us on the live news line to explain some of this. Gerald, good morning, and catch us up to date, my friend.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Unfortunately, this entire, I'm going to call it a scam, that was perpetrated on the Austin voters back in 2020. It was November 2020. It's even more egregious than it was when it started. When it started, you're right, Todd, there was roughly 27 miles of rail, an underground subway mall, so many things that obviously they have determined they can't come anywhere near doing what they got people to vote for. And now the thing is down to about 9.5 miles of rail. I mean, there's no underground system, which means that it'll now have to articulate with the traffic downtown, which is already, something that you can't deal with. But bottom line is this plan that they have now, that the Austin Transit Partnership, the City of Austin, and Capital Metro all signed off on, is nothing what people thought that they were going to get. And to continue, like you said, to continue to collect 20.79, that's almost 21% of your City of Austin taxes, both residential and commercial, and continue to put that money in the bank while they try to figure out what they're going to do. It's just patently wrong.
Yeah.
And so, obviously we've been pushed in the corner to the point to where, a lawsuit is the only way that we can go. So that's what we're doing.
It's pretty interesting. I'm looking at the list of folks that are behind this effort, and it's a pretty diverse group of Republicans and longtime Democrats. Former Travis County Judge Bill Aleshire is the lead attorney in this lawsuit, and he says the city and ATP have been collecting and spending tax dollars approved by the voters in 2020 for a dramatically different project than what was recently approved by the city. Kind of a bait and switch, if you will, right? Is the ultimate goal a new vote? Is that the ultimate goal?
Well, I hate to have another vote. I mean, but, hey, it's pretty American. I mean, voting. But, y'all, here's the problem with it is that they can generate, and they have so much money that they can spend on all sorts of things that they may be able to buy another election, which is exactly what they did in 2020. But when push comes to shove, absolutely. I mean, but what we're really after is you stop collecting these taxes when there is nothing that you are doing that even begins to look like what you got people to vote for in 2020.
How much have they collected? How much money have they collected over the past, 3 years?
Well, they've collected $480 million.
Wow.
And soon to collect, because we're at another of those collection points at the end of the year, an additional $170 million. They will have collected $600 million. And let me tell you what they're spending most of their money on right now, other than their engineers and their attorneys. They have a huge staff. I mean, they have $6 million line item just for the ATP employees. And they've got so much money for all of these community groups. Y'all, they just buy people off, and they're buying people off with all of our tax money.
Wow.
Meanwhile, you've got, an organization, a few of us that have put together, I was asked, not too long ago, said, Commissioner, you've got to be making something off of this as vehemently opposed as you are to it. And I just laughed and looked at the person and said, not only do I not make a flipping thing out of it,
spending your own money.
I write checks out of my wife and I's account because it's the right thing to do. But I will tell you, it is egregious to have our own tax money working against the benefit of the community. Y'all know me well.
Yes, sir.
If rail really would do something about traffic, then I would be the first person all over it, because it's the thing that got me to run for office back in 2002, that being transportation, mobility. But it's just, it's such a scam and it's such a joke. And wow, I think that a court of law will pour them out, and that's what we're after.
Gerald, tell me, just give us an idea, just pinpoint a few properties in town, particularly commercial properties that have been paying this increased tax rates and no results from it, just to give the folks an idea of some of these buildings in our city and what they're paying and how it trickles down to you and me.
Well, I won't use the exact hotel downtown, but I'll just say I went to the general manager of the hotel back in 2020 and just showed him what if the light rail passed, that it would cost them an additional $360,000 on top of the $1.6 million that they already pay. That's your large commercial operations. That is where this thing. You're talking about cutting a fat hog. On all the commercial stuff, but even the residential people, and y'all. The thing that is the probably, the most concerning thing to a lot of people in this community is when you start talking about a 20% property tax increase for residential people, and for some people that just live hand to mouth. It is regressive as all get out, and it's a scam. Sure. It is an I have never seen anything more egregious in the 55 years that I've lived in Austin, in the 14 years that I was an elected official. I have never seen anything like this. And the council people, because they're elected, and the only person that had the good sense not to get involved in this thing and to vote for this new plan and to vote for the funding from the tax rate, the city of Austin's tax rate, was Mackenzie Kelly.
District
He's
6.
the only one that voted, that did not vote for it. So bless her heart. At least we've got, one elected official that's got a
common sense.
At least one,
common sense about what we're doing. So
let me ask you this, Gerald, before we wrap up here. With your efforts with Judge Aleshire and a few other county commissioners trying to address this issue, could your efforts on this lead to a 20% tax break for the people of Austin?
Absolutely. If they were forced to stop collecting this 20.79% property tax increase, your city of Austin property tax would decrease by 20.79% immediately. Unless we get it done this way, then they're going to continue to collect those taxes and really have no idea what in the world they're going to build.
It's true.
They
can't tell you. They can't even tell you what they want to build.
They just want the cash.
Yeah.
They want the cash. And just imagine, you're making probably 4% money today on money in the bank. Imagine what you're making. Like to date, they probably got about $350 million in the bank. Well, $350 million in the bank at 4% is $14 million a year that you make just on interest, which is the reason why they can go and pay all these community activists and pay all these people that, quite frankly, are just at the trough. The engineering people should be ashamed of themselves. And quite frankly, I can say that openly, y'all, because when I was in office,